people need to understand. If she leaves me, I'm stopping bodybuilding. You already really get that. I ain't doing this alone. I didn't get into. She dragged me into this sport and got me here. She's responsible for whatever happens from me from now on. So if she say, I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm done too.
Right, guys, welcome back to the Beautiful Struggle podcast. We are back with the in-studio sessions, and this one is huge. I wanted to start it off with a bang, with a boom, and it doesn't come much bigger than this. So I've got a little bit of an intro prepared on the iPad today. We're going very professional, so I'm just going to run through this. So sit back, get comfortable, because today's conversation is one that I've been looking forward to for a long time. My guest today is a man who didn't just enter bodybuilding, he arrived. When you see him walk on stage, you don't just see the muscle, you see presence, belief, and purpose. He is known around the world as the Nigerian Lion, one of the most dominant physiques of this generation, an Olympia contender, and a living example of what happens when discipline meets destiny. But today we're not just talking about trophies, size, or stage lights. We're talking about the journey, the pressure, the mindset, the sacrifices people don't see when the cameras are off. This is a man who has stayed patient when the spotlight wasn't there, stayed hungry when the expectations grew, and stayed grounded when standing at the very top of the sport. So wherever you're listening to, lock in, because this is more than just bodybuilding. This is about greatness, resilience, and becoming who you said you were going to be. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Samson Dauda. That's my best impression.
That was a big one. That was deep.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, man. That was really good.
Mate, it's a pleasure, bro.
Thank you.
We're going back for round 2 on the podcast.
Yes, our second one. Damn. Last one was 2 years ago?
I think it was about 2 years. I was trying to work it out today. I should have gone back and looked, but
I think it was about 2 years ago.
I wanted to go with this with fresh eyes, because if I went back and looked, I probably would have watched it on my 4-hour drive up here. But it was important just to kind of be where we are today, because obviously we've been together today all day pretty much. We've had an eventful one.
Oh yeah, we definitely had an eventful day today.
I've probably done more DIY today than I did do at home.
Got to the gym and my the shutter door broke today, so it stretched us out by a few hours trying to fix that. And the girlfriend just came through for me last minute. Pete, thank you very much. Yeah, so we managed to get this fit in today as well, after a long drive down as well.
It's all good. So, pleasure, man. But obviously we are in the new home, which is my first visit.
Yes.
And I just want to say, from myself to you guys, because we've got Mel sitting off camera as well. She's in here. It's wicked to see. Like, I've known you since before, everything. And I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the thing that we all went to that I filmed when I first met you? There was a bunch of us, like a team thing down at Graftism Gym. You were there for that with there was a crew of random, there was bodybuilders, there was bikini girls, men's physique. Ian from Two Bros organised it.
Oh yes, I remember.
He put kind of a little team together. That's where we first met.
I remember that. Yeah,
and I'm pretty because that was like 2019.
2019.
Yeah,
that was 2019.
2019.
Yeah, I remember.
So that's how long we've known each other.
Wow.
That was like the initial, initial starting point.
6 years now.
6 years.
6, 7 years now, actually.
And that was before everything. So I've seen you come from there through the ranks, and what you've achieved and everything you've been through, mate. It's just it's inspiring.
It's been a hell of a journey. I mean, I would say it's been a long road, but it doesn't feel that long, honestly.
It's probably gone in a blink of an eye.
He has gone quite in a blink, You feel everything, but it definitely feels like it's been a blink, and you still remember those days and all the parts of it quite clearly, because you feel very present to him. So it's been a very, very interesting journey.
What I wanted to start this with is, what are the things that you've learnt throughout this journey? Obviously the journey goes way back further than 6 years since I've known you.
Yeah.
But what would you say like the key 3 things that you would have learned throughout this experience?
I think one of them, quite a few things. Let me see. A few of them. I think patience is one was a very big one. I think that one, it took a lot for me to really understand patience because, like, you know, as bodybuilders and as who we are and the idea of drive and hunger and goal chasing, you want everything to happen now. You know, if you go to the gym, you want to get size, you want to get lean, you want it as soon as possible. You don't think about the idea of how long it takes, you just want it now. You know, you're chasing after a goal, the same thing, you want it now, you want it now, you want it now. So the idea of patience, of realizing things don't come when you want them, they come when they are meant to be there. That patience was something I had to learn. And it's something that I learned that took me a while to understand is to fail, to fall down and get up again, fall down and get up again, fall down and get up again. I understand that there's a process. There really is a process. And you cannot skip chapters. You have to go through it. And with each time you fall, there's a lesson to be learned in that process. So being able to slow down and have the patience to understand that no one has ever achieved anything great overnight.
Yeah.
It always takes that time. So having patience to understand that, to sit back and say, okay, don't worry, it's fine. My time will come. My time will come. Just keep doing what you're doing. Your time will come. Has been one that has been a big one. And it's been a valuable lesson to have.
Yeah.
Other one is appreciating, appreciating today, appreciating the moment, appreciating where you are. Even when things seems bad and it feels like, man, everything's falling apart, is trying to appreciate what you actually have at that moment and achieve and understand that it can always be a lot worse.
Yeah.
And really, really live in the idea of, okay, look around and really see what you have and try to appreciate those things, because when things start to fall apart and you start to lose things and things not going right, you realize that where you are right now is not as bad as you think, you know. So trying to appreciate everything we've gone through, appreciate that all the knocks and all the struggle that I had to endure to get to where I am today, appreciate that they were all lessons to be learned.
Yeah.
And then when you're here now, appreciate that how lucky you are to have what you have now, to have achieved this, because not many people can sit there and say, man, I actually got to achieve my life goal.
Yeah.
I actually got to achieve a goal that I set out to do, and I actually lived and made it all the way there to achieve it. So appreciation is a big one.
It's got to be hard to take in, though, appreciating that moment.
Man.
Such a big moment.
It's something that you have to practice, honestly, because it's very easy for me to say, oh, just appreciate it. And you wake up, oh, great, everything's rainbows and roses. And you think, no, appreciation is something you actively have to do. You actively have to sit down there, put your phone down, and then sit there, okay, and then count. Pick things out and look at everything around you and literally count them and say, okay, right, what am I blessed with to have today? Yeah. Okay, I have this. I'm living to do this. I can do this. I have these people around me. I have the actually count and actually really take note of them. And you'll be surprised doing the exercise and actually having that, how much it really changes your mindset through your day. Yeah. How much it changes what you see around you through the day. And it's something that you actively have to do. You can't just wake up and be appreciative. It doesn't, we're humans, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. You actually actively have to do it. And when you start doing that more and more, when things go wrong and things don't work out, you don't dwell on them too much. You don't stay there just beating on that and looking at a closed door too much. Yeah. You actually start looking around going, but you still have all these other things going for you.
You find it easier to kind of process the situation.
You find it a lot easier to process the situation when you realize that there's a lot more positive than negative that's happening to you.
Because I text you after the O this year.
Yeah.
And I said about the phrase, I've said this on one of the other podcasts, about this too shall pass. And I said about like, obviously, shit moments, it will pass. But like you just said, appreciating the moments when you're at the top.
Yep.
That moment too shall pass.
That's the moment too shall pass.
So what you just said about appreciating the moments and maybe like practicing gratitude as well in that moment.
And that's it, and it goes a long way. It really does go a long way. The idea of practicing actual gratitude is something that the more you do, the more you actually realize it, the more you receive from it,
Yeah. So with like the moment that you're in right now, like of your position in the industry.
Yeah.
Because we spoke about this earlier. We could talk about like, how did it all start to you, Samson? Where did you first go to the gym? Who were your inspirations? We've done that.
Yeah.
And I don't want it, I want this to be more of a catch up.
Okay. Yeah.
You know? So with where you're at right now in the industry, which is firmly at the top of the sport, what is the hardest part about being Samson Dauda?
Man, it's just, I would say, man, one of the hard part is really understanding understanding where you are. Really understanding where you are. Understanding that not many people would understand it, and understand that as much as it is, you do tend to feel that a bit alone in there. But then I've been lucky enough to have people with me that have shared along the journey with me. But understand that the position you are is a lucky one. No matter how much you want to dwell on things and how much you want to get sucked into things and sucked into situation, still understand how lucky you are and understand the position that you're in. And really trying to keep that understanding in your forefront.
Yeah.
So you don't get pulled into that negative mindset or pulled into any negative situation that's happening out there. It's something that it takes work. And I have to constantly work on that every day. Like, understand, okay, no matter how bad you think you're feeling right now, how suck and how much you feel like, oh, this so sucks. Stop and really understand where you are.
Yeah.
And really understand that you're in a very good spot still.
Yeah.
Really take that in and really knock that in your head. Yeah, you might have noise, you might have this around, you might have anything, but realizing that right now where you're standing, it's a lucky position. So, yeah, try to hold on to that instead of focusing on things that don't concern you or things that don't make you feel any better.
Yeah, I've always wondered, because obviously I do a lot of traveling. I'm a bodybuilder. I listen to all the podcasts and the media outlets, and we're not going to give anyone names and shine on you, but I see stories and I see your name in the title or whatever, and then I hear it and it's like, damn, man, how is he dealing with this? Like, I want to pick up the phone and text. It's like, he probably doesn't want to even be brought the attention to it.
Because, I mean, one of the things, like, especially when you've been, it's been a few years now, and I've managed to climb all the way up to get to the top, and you've lingered up there, you've had all the shots and everything else, and both good and bad criticism, you've had all at you. You then, I think there's something they said, like, they say about beauty, you have to grow thick skin. And you have no idea how thick that skin has to be.
Yeah.
And you don't even as thick as it is with social media and everything else today. There's only so far you can block things out. So I just have a few forms of things that I do that I'm like, okay, for me to be able to do this to the best of my ability, for me to be able to stay here and carry on going it, I need to put these things into effect. These plans have to be in effect. One, I don't watch anything bodybuilding. I don't watch at all. I don't watch bodybuilding podcasts. I don't watch any YouTube channels. I don't watch anything bodybuilding. My job is clear in front of me. I want to be the best I can be. I want to be the best bodybuilder on the planet. The task is me go to the gym, me train, eat, sleep, repeat, go after it over and over again. If nothing in my life helps me towards that task, it doesn't need to be there. I don't need to pay any attention to it. So when I adopted that mindset fully and going, okay, I don't need to hear anything, I don't need to see anything, I don't need to take part in anything, I don't know. I need to have this very narrow mindset of, okay, what matters to you right now? That's all you need in your life. What is helping you move forward? That's all you need to know. Anything else is just noise. So what are you going to get from it?
Yeah.
So having that and blocking all that out, for me, has been one of the way I'm able to keep a clear head and just keep moving forward. Because people be like, oh yeah, you heard what's saying. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But what do I need to know? And when you get rid of the curiosity to want to know, that's a big one.
Okay.
Because we can all be curious, man. If I told you, hey, bro, this guy said something about you, you're already curious enough to be like, what the hell did he say?
Yeah.
No matter how much you look, I could stroll to YouTube and actually see my name on subtitle or no thumbnails. Automatically, you want to click to watch. You have to be strong enough to be like, nah, I don't know. I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
And keep strolling. that is that intent. You have to have that ability to be like, no matter how powerful, no matter how curious I feel, nothing good is going to come from me watching anything. Don't look. Don't check. You know. So for me, I don't read comments. I don't look videos. I'm like, look, I like what I like. I like my peace.
Yeah.
And my job is to protect my peace.
I noticed earlier when we came, because obviously we sat down and had like some food and that earlier, and you had YouTube on the TV.
Yeah.
And one thing that really caught my eye,
Yeah.
there was no bodybuilding.
No bodybuilding anywhere in the YouTube now. That's
when my YouTube is on the TV.
It's all about bodybuilding. Yeah, because it's I understand, like, as fans and everything else, it's great. You watch bodybuilding. That's why you're fans. But when you are the subject in it, you're right there in it. Yeah, it's different. You know.
Yeah.
The subject they're speaking about is about you. It's about you personally.
And normally it's negative, isn't it?
And you know what I mean? And this is the thing. So it's about you, it's negative, and it's literally there. And if you really want to have a bad day, start watching.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I woke up today and I feel great. Wow, look, I'm living in this big house. I'm having this beautiful life. I get to go to my own gym. I get to train. I get to do all that. Why would I want to put in something in that spoils all that for me?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it doesn't bring me anything good. So I don't need to know.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense when you put it like that.
So, yeah, so I just look at it. I mean, people call it any other way because I know what needs to be. If there's any news, I'm sure I'll find out about it. If there's anything else, it's not necessary. I don't need to know anything else that's just noise.
Yeah,
you know, I don't need to know all those stuff because especially when it distracts you from what you are trying to do. And it distracts you, and not only that, it keeps you from having peace. It keeps you from having the relaxed mindset because this is hard enough. Bodybuilding at the top, especially climbing it, it's hard enough.
How hard, bro?
It's extremely hard. You know, it's tough. It's you live it. You know, you don't watch it, you live it. You literally, everything someone else watching or you watch your YouTube video, it's not just, it doesn't end after half an hour of watching the YouTube. It carries on. You live that all the time, 24/7, all the time. You live in that life, and you're living in the highest end where you can't afford to slip for a day. Everything is full on all the time. And it's like you're working a job that it's your whole life. When you don't have a minute to have peace and quiet, do you want to watch your job as well? So, you know, I always think like I come home from work. I don't want to watch my work, you know.
Yeah.
I want to have that ability to be able to detach from it and say, okay, right, keep it simple. You know, focus on what you need to focus on to make you better. Does any of those things, watching, does it make you improve? Does it make you better? No? Then why are you caught up? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You know?
Don't give it your energy.
Exactly that, you know?
What is going on, people? Jumping in on this podcast to let you know about our incredible sponsors, Trained by JP, aka TBJP, the one-stop shop for all your bodybuilding needs. Whether you're looking for supplements or clothing, they have it all. Quite possibly the biggest range of subs you will find anywhere in the world, end of. Whether you're looking for pre-workouts, stim-free or high stim, intra-workout shakes, post-workout cream of rices, vegan supplements, it is all there for you, as well as the highest grade of health subs that you will need in your arsenal. Check them out. It's www.tb-jp.com, and on there you will also find all the clothing which they release multiple times per year, but get your hands on them quick because they are limited drops. Use the discount code MAGIC10 for money off. Help the brother out, and let's get back to the podcast. Peace. With your rise to the top, you might feel weird like talking in that way, but it is what it is. You know, the rise to the top, because you are at the top of the mountain now. What has surprised you the most as you've moved up?
How big this sport is. Honestly, that one, it really changes your life. For some reason, I don't know, it feels like I should know that, but when I started this sport, you know, I didn't, like, bodybuilding was big, but it wasn't as big, nowhere near as big as it was now. So my thing was, okay, you know what, it feels good enough so I can at least do this for a living. And that was it. That I'll be happy with that, you know. And then you start climbing to the top, and then you start realizing that you go anywhere in the world, and everybody is aware of bodybuilding. Everybody knows somebody that competes. This sport is everywhere. And that one, it's sort of like, it really sort of got to me really fast. I'm like, holy shit, this is really big. This is humongous. That there's no part of the world you can go to, people don't know the Olympia. They don't know what's going on. There's always somebody that's into it. And you kind of thinking, okay, you know what? You start getting recognized in places where you're like, how does anybody here even know who the hell I am? That's kind of impossible. But you start getting recognized in places where you're almost not ready for it. You know, like it catches you off guard.
Any examples?
And so, like, I mean, it's happened to me everywhere so far. Like petrol stations, shops, restaurants, airports. People would call out your name, and you're like, oh, like, and you almost stunned, like, really here? Like now, you have people that love this sport and they recognize you in places that you're thinking, man, they're like, oh, I watch your YouTube videos, I see you, I follow your Instagram, I see what you're doing and everything else, and you almost feel like, man, you can't help but smile and go, wow, you watch this, you see the numbers on the screen, you see your following, you see, your subscribers and everything, you see the numbers on the screen. For you, no matter what it is, it's just numbers. When you start putting faces to it and you start realizing how big those numbers actually mean, and that those numbers are actually people, that's when it actually starts to shock you. That's when it actually starts to really get to you, and you start going, okay, this is big. Yeah. This is bigger than you thought it would be. This is actually big.
Do you ever go back to like the rugby days in your mind and the change rooms and think back to there compared to now?
Freaking yes. I always kind of go back going, man, did you ever think at any point that you would be here today? Yeah. And you always go back, you go back to rugby days, you go back to your work days, and you relive the moments. Because I know very clearly what it felt like to sit there either in the workshop or in the solar panel, in the solar field and everything else. And I'm there and I'm driving that tractor and I'm visualizing and dreaming, okay, top bodybuilder, what you do, get up at this time, train here, travel here, and you can almost you visualize, how people sit there and go, oh, what would you do if you win the lottery? And then you could be like, yeah, first I'll go to the car dealership and then I'll book a holiday. And you're visualizing all these things you would do.
Yeah.
I remember that being me thinking about this position right now.
That's nuts.
Thinking about how all these things and everything else. So when I'm here now, I'm standing back and looking back then going, you know how insane that is when I can look back and go, I remember I was dreaming about this.
Yeah.
And now it's here. And that's why it always feels so real this moment now.
So how then, because I've seen you grow through the years, you're still the same guy from 2019 to me.
Yeah.
So how have you not kind of got high off your own supply over the years to become, because there's no ego there, there's not.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
we see with other people.
I don't, I can't, because I'm just me. I've always been just me. There's never been a persona. There's never been an act. It's just me. I can't be anything with me. I don't know how other people can grow ego. If you never had it one to begin with, I don't know how you adopt one. I don't know how I could talk to people differently. And I never feel the need, because I feel like, we're all imperfect one way or the other. There's nothing about you that can hold you high up above someone else, that you feel that you are so high and they're so below you, you can't treat them equally.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to act that way towards somebody. I don't know how to be like that towards people. I've been in their position. I've been under where I've been looking up to fans and looking up to bodybuilding icons, and I've been looking up to people and going, holy crap, this is this guy. So, and I know what it feels like to be in that position and feel that way. So, and I know what it feels like to not get the attention or not get spoken to by somebody you looked up to.
Yeah. And
how it feels like, dude, what's up with that? So I feel like I never want to be giving that to someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
And I always, because of that, those memories are so vivid to me. I always feel like, look, I might be good at this, but it doesn't mean I'm good at everything else. So that I might be good at bodybuilding, but you kick my ass at football any day of the week, So we just have this trade-off where we all good at something and we all suck at a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's nothing good enough in you that will make yourself feel big enough that you feel like I hold myself above someone else. It's weird to me.
Do you see it scattered around the industry though? Do you witness it?
To a point, I do. To a point, you can't help but you see it. You can't help but, you're there and you're like, dude, come on now. And it's I mean, it's bodybuilding. You got egos. There's a lot of egos in sport. That's just how it is. And it feels weird. I don't know. It always feels weird to me. It always feels like, dude, I don't understand how you get that. I don't understand how you can hold on to that. I don't understand how you can put yourself that high of a pedestal that you think that way of yourself. It's weird. I don't even know how that mindset works, so I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
But when you see it, I don't want to say it makes me detest. It just makes me look at someone the wrong way.
Yeah.
I look at you and I go, and it makes me shake my head and go.
Just leaves like a sour taste.
It leaves a
towards
sour taste in my mouth.
person,
It really leaves a sour taste in my mind. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
that ain't cool. That's really not cool.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we see the same people, and this isn't me trying to get you to call anyone out at all, but we do see the same people making the same kind of mistakes that they get called out for.
Yeah.
And they're not learning from them. If they learn from them, then okay.
But then this is what I'm saying about the idea of you need to understand, like, maybe it's just me, but I'm very critical of myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm very critical enough to know that when I fuck up, I'm like, hey, oof, I'm sorry, man, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And that idea of accepting that the fact that you're not perfect and you can make mistakes and saying, okay, put my hands up to that is a point for you to learn from that fuck up. You can't, you look back and go, that feeling of embarrassment, that feeling of disdain, that feeling you feel towards yourself right there, you don't want to feel that again, so you learn from it. Okay, I'll do better next time. Mm. That part builds you up. As you grow up, as you go through the industry or you get better, you're gonna have a lot of fuck ups. You're gonna do a lot of things that you're thinking, oh, I shouldn't have done it that way.
Yeah.
But each time you learn to make yourself better, you learn to be like, okay, I've done that, I ain't gonna do it again. So by the time you get to the point where you're at the top, it's a lot of lessons that has been learned along the way. So to look at someone else and going, how can you not have picked up the same lessons coming up through this rank?
Yeah.
You have to, at some point, accept the fact that, responsibility. I screw up.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the ability to accept that you are not perfect, you do make mistakes, and accept that, I make mistakes, I screw up.
Yeah.
It's very hard for you to learn anything. So I think that's something I always tell people, man. Don't be afraid to say, I made mistakes. It's part of it. It's part of growing.
Yeah, it's just the acceptance of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Accept the fact that you're not perfect. Accept the fact that we're human beings. Accept the fact that we will make mistakes. It's normal.
Yeah.
It's part of it. You don't get hauled off and tied to the stake for saying, hey, oh, dude, I screwed up here.
Yeah.
It's normal. We all make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. So accept the fact you make mistakes and then just try to learn from it and be better next time. That's all you can be. You can't change what's done, but you can actually learn and try to be better next time. So that will only make you a better person.
Yeah.
That can only make you better. The fact that you be like, okay, I can put my hands up and say, okay, I made a mistake, but I know I can do better than that. And that's all you got to do. But you wish more people have that ability, and it's something that, you sort of hope they do, and you hope that you will see more of.
Wise words. Speaking of like mistakes, and I'm not angling in this as a mistake, but it's kind of a question I'm going to have to ask you.
Yeah.
Going back to this year with Yo.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were delivering something that people were asking for.
Yeah.
Looking at that moment now, is that classed as a mistake in your mind, or
it's a lesson? That's one thing for sure. I'll say it's putting it as a mistake all in its own is not quite covered. It's a lesson. It's okay. Like we've always known to a point that there's only so far someone in my skin texture, my type, my build. There's only so far we can push conditioning without losing what makes us wow in the first place.
Yeah.
You always know that. You always know that thing, but you always try to always skate a fine line between that big round bubbliness and size to how far you can pull down before you lose that and you're going for something that you won't be able to obtain. So we always know that, but like I said, like every single time when you've gone off stage and the feedback has always been the same thing for every show you ever do.
Yeah.
You start to, as an athlete, your mindset goes, okay, they want this. I'm trying to bring it. I'm going to keep trying to bring it because this is what they're asking for. So when you had that drum into you every time you get on stage, you just need to be more. You just need to be more. You just need to be more. At some point, you be like, man, okay, fuck it. I'm just going to go all in and throw all my eggs in the basket and go straight in for it.
Yeah.
And, that's what this year's was okay, forget everything else. You have one goal and one goal only. Let's see pull conditioning. Forget everything else. Just pull for that one thing. So you go all in that, and you literally disregard everything else. Okay, you're getting smaller. I don't care. It's all about conditioning. You're losing your food. Nah, I don't care. It's all about. You pull that mindset into it all the way because this is what you feel like is what's been missing from your repertoire the whole time.
Yeah.
And you be like, well, I want to tick that box to make sure that I can do it. But then this is when the mindset of an athlete is like you become tunnel vision. And you forget about everything else. And you forget about the things that make you wow in the first place.
Yeah.
And you're not paying attention to that. And then when you actually bring it on stage and you look at it and going,
Did you know before you got on stage?
No, not at all. We were aware to the point that, okay, you were losing size and everything else, but we always had like, okay, you know that you wanted to be in that, that low 290 point of it, where it's like, okay, about that way will probably be decent for you. So it was like, okay, this is the look that you've been told that is the ideal look that for you, and this is something you want to achieve. So even though you sort of had inklings that maybe not the best look, but you've had that before and you didn't listen and you've paid penalties for it.
Yeah.
You paid the penalty earlier this year for it. And you're like, well, no, I can't, even though the signs are saying, bro, that's not a look for you. But I'm like, well, every time I've pulled back because I believe it wasn't a look for me, I've been penalized on stage for it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this time, no.
All in.
All in. Like you said, you started the prep, it was like, you're going to be all in on this one thing, commit to it. No matter what, nothing stops you from that. So when the signs were there saying,
Yeah.
you
were too deep in.
Yep, even Mel was saying, and I was like, no, I want more cardio.
Yeah.
More cardio. No. I want to silence this part forever. More. So when we then got to the point where we're on stage, we're like, okay, it's there, but can you fill out?
Yeah.
To fill it out, to make that package look more bubbly and look that way again. One thing is when you've never pulled out that low before and you do it for the first time, you don't realize your body isn't so quick to rebound.
Yeah.
So where every other time in the past, I could rebound in 2 meals. It doesn't even, like, I'll be back full in like 2 meals in. So
yeah,
we felt with the same dynamics that we've always had. Not knowing this time, you're not in that. You're not at that thing. You've done something that is you're not used to.
You would dug the hole
You've
a little
dug
bit
the
too
hole
deep.
a little bit deeper. So this would take a longer time. So coming into Olympia was like, okay, I think it was like the Wednesday or the Thursday. Okay, let's start getting the carbs in. Or Wednesday evening, let's start getting the carbs in. It's going in, not enough.
Yeah.
Going in, not enough. Why am I not coming to life? What's going on? This is the point where you start feeling, okay,
yeah,
this is different. It's not new. This is new. This is not something we've had to experience in the past. Oops. And that's something I said, like, it has to be a lesson because you've never had it, so you would never know.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's fantastic data for you guys going forward.
Exactly,
knowing where that line is, that threshold is.
Yep.
And judging by the size of the guy today when I turned up, had a little bit of a rebound.
yeah. I mean, this one we had to, because, I mean, like I said, like, I don't look back on these things and focus on the negative part of it. I don't have that ability. I always focus on the lesson learned. When things don't go right, I feel like if you spend more time looking at, okay, what went wrong, what's bad, this is bad, as you lost, this happened. If you spend more time focusing on that, you miss the lesson that was there to be learned. Mm-hmm. So first things first, okay, this sucks. Okay, what went wrong? Okay, how do we fix it next time? What did we do? How do we get it next time?
Yeah. Okay,
we go back, we analyze, we go backwards each step, each day, analyze each point, and go back each week and analyze, okay, at what point was it enough?
Yeah.
What did we do? What point should we have held back? What point we say, that's the look, don't do any more. You break it down and you go over it with a fine toothbrush, picking everything out.
Yeah.
And you look at it and going,
there,
that was it. And then you go, okay, what do you think you can do next time? When you get the signs, listen to them.
Yeah.
Listen to them. One thing you need to learn is let the voices be your voices.
Okay.
As much as it is with bodybuilding, we're all influenced by outside noise. That that is go without saying. No, there's no bodybuilder walking this planet that says he's not influenced by outside noise. When the outside noise has been so prominent to make you even lose shows in the past, you can't ignore them forever.
Yeah.
So when you've been hearing the same noise over and over and over, it has a role to play in your mind, and it can change your mindset. So yeah, those noises are going to be there next time. When do you need to? You know what you're doing because you've done it to get to this point in the first place.
Yeah.
Start listening and trusting yourself more than any outside noise. Don't let the external noise be so loud that it drowns out what you know is fact for you.
Yeah.
You always knew that when you walk out on stage, your most impressive thing is your shape and your size and that roundness. It blows everything away. Once you walk out, that is your trading card. No matter what anybody else screams out, oh, well, he could be tighter though, but there's a level to it.
Yeah.
Your trading card is that. If that means sacrificing that, it's not worth it. Understand that and hold that very clearly as you go in the future. And to be fair, that's what I said about that would never happen. I would never learn that lesson if this Olympia didn't happen the way it did.
Yeah.
It would be something it would happen. If it didn't happen now, it would happen down the line.
Yeah, yeah.
It had to happen at some point for me to be like, oh, that's a new lesson. That's something that had to happen for me to learn it.
And further down the line, the older you are, the back end of the career,
you won't be able to rebound from that.
And there's been whispers, it's like even now, it's like, oh, is Samson done? Is he on the downwards?
Yep.
And what I think people need to realise or remember really is what the fuck you've done in the last few years.
Yeah.
Like how quick
quick you've actually come
what's
up.
been against you. Mm-hmm. So like this is a not even
this is honestly
this is a blip.
This is a blip, and is that and is trying to. That's why I said as much as you do have, I genuinely have to activate silence and noise, so I can hear myself think, and we can work off what we know works.
Yeah,
and you don't have outside noise that's so loud that influences your rate of thinking. You genuinely need to have that point where it's like, okay, you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Trust yourself and nothing else. You know what works. Now it's time to do it. So immediately we got off that stage, it automatically was like, well, you know what you just did. You know what you got a lot of work to do. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing is clear. Your size is something that is valuable, and I think there's something that we as well had to learn from this thing was because I've the last few years, I think since 2022 Olympia, I put on a lot of size and I became big. I became that 300-pound guy. Mm-hmm. You know, it felt like because we've had it ever since then, you didn't value it so much because you've had it all the time. You've always been a big 300-pound guy on stage. So we started undervaluing because every time we showed up at a show, it was always like, oh, if he's just a little bit tired, maybe he needs to come down a little bit more. So that whole idea of how the mass, it wasn't valued anymore, and we weren't valuing it as much when we should have held that more and go, that's a valuable thing to have.
Yeah, yeah.
You started looking at that as if it wasn't something that you had to nourish and you had to really pay attention to. So last year, you know, I didn't have a long off season last year. I think I had 5 weeks. I did a lot of traveling, a lot of shows, a lot of moving around and everything else. I didn't value that. Look, you're a big guy.
Yeah.
Keeping that mass. Realize when you sit your ass at home a lot and not moving around so much. Yeah. You need to maintain that, or else you're going to start losing the mass. You need to understand that. It was because I've always had it for the last 4 years now.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like it's always there. So you never really honed into the idea that neglected it.
Yeah.
So when the prep came was another thing that it was like, don't worry about the mass. Don't forget about, what about your size? No, don't worry about size. We're not thinking about size. Lesson.
I guess you just mentioned there about you didn't have a long off season. You travelled around a lot, but that comes with the title, yeah.
That comes with the title.
And I think in terms of a representative of that title, you did a fine fucking job of taking that title around the world. Like.
Yeah.
So, do you think in future when you get it back?
Yeah.
Because that's how we're talking today.
Yep.
When you get it back, the dog's just stretching over the camera. I'm going to leave that in. So when you get it back, will you approach the responsibility of holding that title differently in terms of the travel aspect?
I think
weighing up like career alongside obligations.
I think that's the thing is like, because I've always said before I even won the title that I was always going to be the guy that took bodybuilding around the world with me.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't just going to be centralized where, you know, I win the title and then I just disappear. You don't see me for the rest of the year, and then I pop up at the next Olympia and that'll be it. I was always open to the idea of, okay, you know what, you have the obligation and this honor to be this champion of the world. You are that face. You are that part of it. A lot of people don't have the ability to fly to Vegas to see Mr. Olympia. A lot of people don't have the ability to ever catch eye of what Mr. Olympia looks like. So it's your job to bring that to them, you know. But at the same time, you always got to understand that there's a fine balance to how much you can move, to how much it was going to cost you physically if you do that. So I think, you know, something that, I mean, another lesson we've learned from this year is like, the amount of moving you have to do has to be coincident and be balanced with the idea of, okay, you got to cut it down, shut it down a lot earlier. There's a job to be done as well. You have to shut that thing down a lot earlier. So, you know, this one is something that is obviously a lesson, because I don't want to say I'm not going to travel anymore, because I'll be crazy. Yeah. But at the same time, it's now, okay, don't reach too much. Because, you know, you got tired, you're excited. You want to show what you've always been saying. You know, like I've always been saying something like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to all of a sudden change my tone when I get there. I'm going to, when I said I was always going to travel around and do multiple shows on Mr. Olympia, I meant that. Yeah. So I was like, nah, now that I'm here, it's not a case of words. I'm going to show you that I meant exactly what it is. But at the same time is you have to learn a lesson of, okay, don't overreach. You're at this thing, you still have to, you know, stay home and play the role of this part, and so you can still be as good as you are. Don't overreach too quickly, you know. That comes with both what we just talked about there, is like show day. Don't overreach in terms of taking what you take to stage. And like what's done in the 12 months leading up to that as well. Exactly. Don't overreach with the responsibilities and stuff. That comes with it. What would you say is like the biggest sacrifice you've had to make at this level? Is there anything that like stands out for you? Not really. I mean, the thing is, one thing I've said I've been lucky to have is I've been lucky to take my wife along with me in the journey, take my family along with me in the journey. You know, with this level, you know, in the past, or sometimes people tend to be very center-minded. And what happens is you cut out the word and you cut out everything just to achieve it. You cut out a lot of life just to achieve it. And then you have a long, successful career, and then you look back and you're thinking that whole period, you didn't have anything but the title and but the career. Something I know that right from day one, you know, we've always been hard on is the fact that, we live bodybuilding, but we're not all about bodybuilding. You gotta experience the world and for all it is whilst you have the opportunity to. Not just, you know, not just being at the top, but what it feels like to having a family and taking family with traveling, doing those small things and staying home and spending time with your loved ones and, you know, traveling the world and really taking it all in and really captain. So when you look back at this period, you don't just remember the grind and nothing else. So it's like, don't look back and have regrets. Don't look back and say, I wish I did more of what I wish I did. No, look back and go, man, that was a hell of a journey. I did everything. So I really want to make sure that when my time is done of doing this, I don't want to ever look back on bodybuilding and have a disdain or a regret or anything that I'd be like, if I never did that, or if I did this, or if I couldn't. I don't want to look back and have any kind of ill feeling towards it whatsoever. I want to look at it and go, those are the best moments of my life. That's crazy, like, because you're talking there, and as much as the levels are a lot different, I'm relating to it so much, because like I've gone all in on like bodybuilding myself for the last couple of years, and that's exactly why what my kind of thought process towards it as well. Completely different levels, I know. But you understand. No regrets. Like that's all. Like memory books, no regrets. And if you get to see some of the world and that's it. Do some sick shit at the same time. Exactly. You know, and you know, bodybuilding. The thing is, bodybuilding as a sport as well, especially being able to do this, it gives you a lot of opportunities, man. It gives you. Half the countries in the world I've traveled to now, I would have never gone if I wasn't doing this. You know, places, people I've met, things I've done, I wouldn't have a chance. Do you keep a tally of like the countries you've been to? We have our big map in the studio. We got a pin of all the countries we've been to, and we keep adding pins every time we travel. You know, all the places in the world you have the opportunity to travel to, and it's like, man, you've seen the world. And it's like, the guy keeps saying, like I said to my wife a few weeks ago, And I sit there, and we finished from training, and I sit there and I'm going, okay, you know, you're feeling a bit down because of the Olympia. You're feeling a bit like, man, this sucks. It's a bad feeling, whatnot. And I don't know, I was sitting there for a while and just kind of looking up in the sky. And I remember I was laying in the hot tub at the time. Funny enough, I'm laying in a hot tub. And I'm laying in a hot tub and looking at the sky, and I'm thinking to myself, going, what is left? When you were coming up, when you were a young guy and you thought about all the things you wanted to achieve in your life, what haven't you done before the age of 40? At that point, it dawned on me, and I was like, holy shit, I've did everything. Everything I ever wished or dreamed of achieving, and I'm not even exaggerating, everything I've achieved. I've traveled the world. I've won the Arnold and the Olympia. I've got a big house. I've driven all the supercars I could ever dream about. I've married my partner, my wife, the person I'm sharing this life with. I've done all of it. You've had the fame. You've had it all.
Yeah.
And you did it before you hit 40.
Crazy.
Now you sit there going, what more is there for you to achieve that you actually had in your list coming up what is left? And I sat there and go, holy shit, there is nothing left. Like, at this point, I feel like I'm playing the bonus level. I'm like, there is nothing left. I remember getting out there, I went to her, I was like, I just realized that it's all done. Like, everything in my bucket list, everything I've ever dreamt of, and then some. Even extra, like owning a gym, a private gym. That wasn't even something I was ever thought about.
That was just a bonus point.
And it's like, so when you kind of thinking along that lines, and you're thinking, how many people do you know can ever say that? How many people do you know that would ever could genuinely go, I achieved every single part I wanted to achieve. I ever said, everything I ever dreamed about, I achieved it. And then you sit there and go, holy shit, okay. Yeah, you got no right to ever feel down about anything.
No. A caveat to that, just to play devil's advocate. That's like the old Conor McGregor kind of thing, where when you wake up with silk sheets, and then your career comes fucking. So, does complacency seep in there, or are you like fully self-aware that we've achieved these things on my bucket list of things to do?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do we do from here? Do we?
There's always more to do, so you never get complacent, and you never get comfortable. Maybe other people do. I just never get comfortable because it's like, look, I came from a very, very let's just say a very good beginning.
Yeah,
you know, I came from that point of I was never meant to be here and have this. So automatically, with every achievement, there's a bit of this imposter syndrome that comes with it. Mm-hmm. You always feel like, oh shit, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and it's all going to be gone. I'm going to wake up tomorrow, I'm going to screw it up. So because of that feeling's always there, you're always trying to overwork just to not lose what you've already earned. So same thing with the Olympia this year.
Yeah.
You had a title. You did enough 2024 to win the title. All you had to do was just do the same thing again. But because of the fear of the idea of whatever if I wake up and know this is ended and it's all falling apart. No, I gotta work harder. I gotta even push even deeper than I've ever pushed before. So I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to be more conditioned. I'm gonna go all in on it because that fear of complacency, that fear of, man, I might lose it. I need to do more. And this is where always more of the fallback than the other way around of you feeling comfortable and laying back and I don't need to do anything. It's more, there's always the other side of it where you tend to do too much instead of realizing, you're fine. It's cool. Slow down.
It's all under control.
It's all under control. You'll find the pace you're going. Don't try to run any faster before you fall off. So this is more what I have to work on. You know, I need to be aware of, the pace you're going through right now, it's okay. You don't need to panic. You don't need to try to overreach. You don't need to try to overdo it. You're not complacent. You don't have the ability to ever sit there and sit on and rest on your laurels and be like, I don't need to train hard. I don't need to do this hard. I need to bother with that. You're not that kind of person.
You're always going to be.
You're going to be the other way around, where you're always going to be trying to push for more. Yeah. And that's where your pitfall is going to happen. So you need to learn how to, when it's time to chill. You know.
You mentioned someone a couple of times there, your wife.
Yeah.
Now, you're alluding to her as your wife. Does that mean she's not your coach anymore? Or is she still your coach?
It's funny because it's like, man, she's always been my wife. And you remember, like, when we started this sport, right, there wasn't this coaching thing. There was no, I mean, we started bodybuilding in 2014 or 2013, end of 2013. And nobody was saying, oh, coach. Yeah. Everybody was like, okay, I got a guy in the gym that watches and trains with me, or training partner, or this person that tells me what to do. The whole idea of coach wasn't a thing. So when we hooked up and we were starting to do this sport together, she was just my partner. We were just training and going through it together.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at her as now she's my coach.
Hey, coach.
So when we went through and, we got a pro card, we started climbing up the ladder and everything else, she was just my wife or my girlfriend or whatever that was working with me to achieve this. There's no idea of a coach. So I think it was last year where it was like, okay, who's going to coach you now? And it was like, well, I'm just going to do it with my partner. She's going to coach me now.
Yeah.
And everybody like, oh, he's got a coach. And it was like, yeah, but we're a team. We just do this together. It's like, this is what we do. We just do it together. I mean, you could call her a coach, but she's my wife.
Yeah.
She's my wife that helps me get in shape for a show. And she just happens to be really good at getting me in shape or getting me to grow or whatever. Yeah. And that's what we're doing together. So this is what we're doing, and it's what we're going to keep doing. She's never not going to be a role. As long as look, people need to understand, if she leaves me, I'm stopping bodybuilding. You already didn't really get that. I ain't doing this alone. She dragged me into this sport and got me here. She's responsible for whatever happens from me from now on. So if she say, I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm done too. So people really understand, like, yeah, I'm not getting rid of my wife for nothing. So just calm down. Even if some point in future, we decide, okay, you know what, we're going to need an extra eye or extra help. It ain't going to be like, okay, bye, I'm going to get some. She's my wife.
Yeah.
She's going to be sitting right there on the table with me going, okay, we got extra eye, let's work together. What we're going to do to bring a better look. So she's always going to be a role in this. As long as I'm getting on the bodybuilding stage, she's always going to be right there. So I think people need to relax about this idea of it. It's for me, it's just funny.
Yeah, they get caught up on it.
Yeah, way too much.
It's nuts. You like the bodybuilding Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
It feels like, though, when someone does something extreme, whatever industry they're in, it takes that one person to kind of do it, and then all of a sudden everyone else will start following suit.
Yeah.
What we've seen this year is like it's kind of like guys are okay going out and doing it by themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a couple of wives involved, I think, in other coaching relationships, and
I mean, people, because I think what happens is the dynamic understanding of what coaching an athlete has been misunderstood.
Yeah.
Okay. The idea is, when someone is doing work, the athlete is not this. It's not this blank wall or this horse that just, okay, eat now. Okay, I eat. Train now. I train. Athletes actually know what they're doing. They know their body better than anybody. They know what they're doing. They know what works for them. But they do need assistance, because this is hard. It's hard for you to be subjective or object to yourself. It's hard for you to look at your own physique and say, okay, am I behind? Am I ahead? Do I need more of this? Do I need to look at my back? So you require help. But doesn't mean that you're completely clueless and you have no idea what you're doing. Most guys, the closest person to them is their partner that literally lives with them, goes through it with them, helps them with their meals, tell them when they look this, they're down, they're up, tell them everything. Most of the people is the closest person to you will always be the person that's sharing that journey with you, whether you look like it or not. Whether she knows bodybuilding or she doesn't, she's always going to be some involvement, because bodybuilding is 24 hours. It doesn't end at the gym. So you're always going to have a partner that's going to be involved with it to you. This has always been there. And yep, guys then go and they ask for a third party, somebody else from outside that has a good knowledge in bodybuilding in one term or the other, to give them a hand and check and make sure that they're on track and make sure that they know what they're supposed to be doing if they're missing something. This is the whole dynamics of what coaches comes in.
Yeah.
You work with somebody that can tell you, okay, yep, you're fine, you're on track, you go 6 weeks, you go 5 weeks, yep, oh yeah, you need to double down now, you're a bit out behind. This is the whole idea to it. So that dynamic's always been there. Guys have always, if you don't have a partner, you do it by yourself. You still have that dynamics. Now, the whole idea got out of hand where, somewhere along the lines, people then think that the athletes have absolutely no clue. They just this bottle of meat that goes to the gym, lift weights, eat food, and things just happen.
Yeah.
And the coach has to basically take the wheel and steer the athlete when to eat, when to drink, when to train. I'm like, well, how does that happen when the coach is on the other side of the world and the athlete's here?
Yeah.
The athlete still has to do all that task one way or the other. If coach says, okay, I need to do this much cardio, athletes still have to get up very early in the morning to do it. So athletes, they do know what they're doing, but they do need help. But then don't overestimate the help they get as if the athletes are completely useless if it wasn't for this third party. It doesn't work that way. If there is no athlete, there is no coach.
Yeah.
You need to understand that. If there's no athlete, there's no coach. Same way, they can be very much athletes if there's no coaches. So it's that idea of that people need to sort of understand. So now where you're then having a point where athletes are now like, you know what? Yeah, they probably didn't feel confident enough for a long time doing things themselves. They probably feel like, well, everybody has a coach, so I need to have one.
Yeah.
And that confidence has waned on them, especially now with social media. You double think everything. You see pictures of the guys you're going up against. You see pictures of that, and you start doubting whatever you see in yourself. So you now require more of a third party to tell you, actually, no, you're fine. Oh, no, you're all right. So that is now having more of a strong point where guys now put more effort on the idea or more reliance on the coach to keep them on track.
Yeah.
So what you're now seeing now is all it is just returning to something that's always been there. And I don't think it's all the way going where, coaches are no longer going to be. Of course, coaches are going to be there.
Yeah.
They're always going to, it's always been there. You're always going to require some third party help to get you to see what you don't see. Mm-hmm. But it's the point where they've been on there's this idea that's been there for a while that, for someone to be a successful athlete, they have to have a really good coach.
Yeah, yeah.
You just have to be a really good athlete. That's it. And hold on to the idea that you're a really good athlete. And anybody that supports you, be it your wife, your best friend, your training partner, the old guy you knew from years back, whoever it is, they can be there to get you all the way to where you need to go.
Yeah.
Because as long as you, as an athlete, are willing to do the work and willing to do the sacrifice and do what it takes, all you need is an eye to tell you, yeah, you're good, or no, you need to kick your ass up, you need to get up. And that's all it is.
So, no new coach.
No new coach. No new coach.
Well, with recent events, obviously we saw like you breaking the scale and all this stuff. What's the plan of attack right now?
So basically, well, first of all, we go off stage and it's like, okay, I got to get back to what I do best, which is growing muscle.
Yeah, see that.
Which is bodybuilding. So, that's always is hard but fun bit as well. So first things up, I started going up. I mean, funny enough, that was funny thing because I didn't expect the scale to not reach any higher than that. So basically, normally in the off season, I'm about 330 pounds. The last 2 or 3 years now, I got up 330 pounds, and the last 2 years or so over, I put a cap on how heavy I was going in the off season, just mainly because we wanted to focus more on conditioning.
Yeah.
So I basically I try to not grow too much. I try to slow down and like not focus on being big or focus on size and just pull the off season down so we can have a better look at the conditioning part. So I've literally had to stop myself from really growing the last 2-3 years now.
Yeah. It's a hard job to have that, isn't
it? Which is basically what we had to do. It's like, don't focus on putting any more tissue on, any more size on. You're fine. And, this year, coming off stage, I realized that, man, you're a big guy, man. Everybody wants to see monsters. Let's be real. This is bodybuilding. There's nothing more. I mean, I know for my scale, there's nothing more impressive than you seeing a freaking over 6 foot tall dude weighing over 330 pounds monster walk in the room and everybody stop and go, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
That I'm like, okay, that rings a bell. And I'm like, okay, that is something that you lost sight of. That's something that's special. So you know what? Let's time to go back to being a monster again. Let's this is bodybuilding, man. We all joined this because we all got drawn this because we want to see inhuman physiques. We want to see monsters. We want to see guys bigger than anything we've ever seen. We want to see guys that literally make our look and just feel fright over it.
Yeah.
That's what drew us to bodybuilding. That big size, beauty, monsters, things that you don't see every day.
Yeah.
Someone that, you walk down the street, someone that bodybuilders walk past you, you take notice.
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit. So it's like, that's what bodybuilding, that's what drew most of us to bodybuilding. So it's like, yeah, I want to go back to that.
So what are you weighing now?
So this month of December, I slowed down. I'm still 152 kilos, which is 334 pounds.
Slow down.
So we slow down because of the month of December, and December is basically my rest month. Where it's like, I haven't had a December off in 4 years because I was prepping for the army.
Yeah, I was watching this on your vlog. Was it like 3 years? Is it?
Yeah. So 2022, I was doing the Arnold, so I was prepping December, 23, 24, 25. So this is the first time I'm actually not prepping December. So it feels nice to go, slow down, take it. Because we were, as soon as we came off the stage and I put my foot down to start growing, it almost felt like your body has been screaming to grow for the last few years, and it just took off.
Flew up.
So we just started going really quickly. And even for that, it felt to the point where it was so quick that it was making me feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, you know what? Have the month of December, take some time off that. Let your body settle in, because you're coming from a long prep to off season.
Yeah.
The water retention, everything that comes from that, it's extremely uncomfortable.
Was it bad?
Oh man, it wasn't bad, but it was enough to make me feel like, man, yeah, this is gonna get really uncomfortable real quick. I don't know if I can keep pushing like this for months and months on end. So let you get off the prep mood, come into the off season slowly first, settle down, let the body relax, and let it fall into the idea that you're no longer prepping.
Yeah,
you're now big, because I have to get used to being big again, because shit just breaks around you when you're this size. Honestly,
the reality is, right, is that even though you're getting used to being big again, I know you weren't your biggest.
Yeah.
But you're still fucking huge compared to like normal people. So the fact that you're trying to get used to being big again
is the thing, because even when you get over 330 pounds, you get over that 320, a lot of things have to change. People don't understand that you can't walk the same. You can't just move the same way. You can't just do and bend down and do things the same way, because you're tight. Your hips are tight. Your back is tight. You have to warm up to do everything. Like if I get to the gym now, I have to actually slowly, gradually get in my session, because it takes a while to warm up all that muscle before you can start pounding the weights away.
Yeah.
And you have to solve, okay, I can't just do that. You can't just lean on things without checking, is that okay? That's safe.
Right,
okay. Because I already broke a few things around here just being this size already.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that, okay, you can't just all of a sudden move fast or anything. Like you have to, these things you have to make sure you're careful about it. It's snow and icy outside. Walking outside, think about your footwear really well before you slip and fall, because if you fall, hit the ground this size, you break things.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of be more aware and more conscious that, even me put my hand around my missus, she's like, get that thing off me, it weighs too much. Okay. So you do sort of like, it's getting used to that size and carrying that around as well. At the same time, this time you want to be comfortable in it as well.
Yeah.
You want to be able to hold a conversation like this and not be out of breath and not be winded and go.
Yeah.
You want to be able to sleep better. You want to be able to feel like it's not impeding you from moving around and walking and being healthy. So you're trying to balance all these things out, so you're not climbing so fast that this becomes an issue.
It knocks everything else
out of whack.
Yeah.
So you almost like you climb, you get used to it, and you climb some more, you get used to it. So you're almost doing these things gradually, so you're not completely throwing your body out of whack. So when you start to feel like, there's massive restrictions in it, take some time, hold at that weight, let your body get comfortable, let you get comfortable in it, and then you push some more.
So you're chilling for like December?
Chilling December, and then come January or come straight after Christmas, we start pushing again. Having my goal, or the goal my coach set for me for this off season. Digs in. So we know we got to set where we want to be this off season, and I know that I don't think it'll be hard to get to the weight. It's being able to get comfortable at that weight and sit at that weight for a long time.
Is there a number?
So I'm looking, I think it's probably about 350.
Yeah.
And I think somewhere around that 350 or 350 plus would probably be the weight that I think I'll easily get to without thinking. But obviously you get to a weight that there's a new milestone for you. You have to then
climatize
to it. That's it. You let the weight marinate before you get a chance to start prepping down. So it's trying to obviously get that, and then make sure that the weight is the right kind of weight and it goes in the right places as well. because there's no point getting all that way if you're just going to be loads of fat and water.
Of
so you
course,
have to make sure that he's a decent weight. So as much as you have to kind of get into it and stay in there and make sure you get used to it and make sure that tissue becomes something that you can use as well. So that's sort of the goal for where we are at right now, is pushing something that I haven't done in quite a few years. And
excited for it?
Yeah, I'm excited because it's something I haven't been able to do this.
Yeah.
So it almost feels like a new goal now, a new task. I'm like, okay, this one it's been a while, so I'm like, yes.
I guess that keeps it interesting for you as well.
Oh man, big time. You know, it's especially like I want to make sure we get it, but yet don't lose that waist size. Don't lose that aesthetic line. Just be that aesthetic monster that you think you've always wanted to be. Is that point where you have that fine balance between people going, he's a mass monster, but he's aesthetic at the same time. We've just never seen that before. Yeah. So that for me is,
it doesn't make sense, but it does.
Yeah. And this is for me, that for me right now, it's a refreshing goal as well. It's something that it makes me fired up to see that something like that can be achieved. And I think that's all gets me excited for actual bodybuilding. It gets me excited to go to the gym because I'm thinking, you think about that as an achievement, and you're thinking, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
So we've got that until, is the O like the next?
So as of yet right now, O will probably be the next big one. O will be the next thing.
So head down.
Yeah, it's probably likely to be the O. That'll be the next big thing for me. I think if anything happens, it will probably be after that. You know, I think right now, as it stands, we want to make sure we capitalize on this time where, like I said, we haven't had this much time off in years. So to really capitalize on it fully, I mean, it'll be something that we haven't done. It's something that I'm even intrigued to see how it feels to have that much time of growing for months and months, because normally it's like 10 weeks. That's all I get in the off season.
That's stupid.
You know, and this is what we've been going for the last 3 years. It's been 10 weeks off season, okay, prep. 10 weeks off season, prep.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we'll have months and months. I'm like, okay, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah. That's going to be wild, mate.
Oh,
that's
man.
going to be wild.
I'm intrigued to see. I'm really curious to see what it will be like. And I think because of that, it's got me really excited, and it's giving me that drive to like, okay, you're achieving something new.
It's just like extra fuel on the fire.
Oh yeah,
you've already probably got fire in your belly after the O this year.
This is like, okay,
fired you up.
Yeah, I want something different. I want something completely that hasn't been seen before.
That's going to be good, man. Well, I think that'll bring us to close to the end. We're about an hour and 10 minutes in. I don't want to take any more of your time because you've had me all day hanging around.
Appreciate it. It's been a long drive down as well for you. So
it's all good.
Man,
nothing I'm not used to, bro.
Thank you, man.
Is there anything you want to say to the guys watching, any sponsors or anything like that before we wrap it up?
Obviously, I always want to thank my sponsors, man, because it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have this nice house. So, guys, appreciate it. So, Gymshark, Hostile, Marek Health, Sumerian, Celsius, guys, always appreciate you guys. And lovely wife over there that's looking at me one eye if I don't say anything. But yeah, always appreciate her. And yeah, man, all the people that have always supported us, all the people that have followed me through my journey, and you know, you watch our YouTube, watch my Instagram, and you know, you give me the word of encouragement and send me nice messages and everything else. I do read them, by the way, so that's why I always get a reply from me. So I want to say, man, I always appreciate you guys always supporting us, man. It will be very hard to do this for this long if it wasn't for you guys messaging me. I'm going to tell you this right now, because it's very hard to get caught up in negativity and so have that dwell on your mind all the time. But seeing the amount of encouragement and the positive messages I get from you guys, that makes this a lot easier. It makes this a lot more worthwhile. So thank you guys very much, man. I really appreciate that.
There we go. Samson, thank you very much.
Always.
Thank you guys for watching. Another episode of The Beautiful Struggle with the big man. Perhaps we'll do another one in 2 years' time.
Hey,
might have a couple more of those trophies in the background. It is in the shot. You definitely will. But yeah, thank you very much, both of you. Appreciate it a lot. And it's great to see everything. So continue killing it, smashing it. And you guys can smash the like button, subscribe. There's more on the way. And I shall see you in the next one. Peace.